Hi, my name's Zach.
And I'm David, and this is the Tailwind Flash Briefing.
So Alibaba's making the venture into influencer marketing. They've started to use social media influencers to try to market their products internationally. For those of you who don't know, Alibaba is a Chinese e-commerce company. The industry's been changed so much by the impact of COVID, and more people are at home, more and more people are on social media. In particular, they're trying to push sales through live streams. Live shopping sessions are really popular in China, and in Q1, over 4 million sessions of live shopping took place.
From a personal perspective, do you find yourself on social media more often?
Yeah, I think I've definitely been on social media a bit more since quarantine, not being out of the house as much, not having all those extracurricular activities to be out and about doing. I find myself definitely scrolling my timeline a bit more.
When you're doing so, then, have you seen any of these influencer ads and have you bought any of the products that you're seeing in them?
Yeah, I see some influencer ads on my timeline a lot. And I notice that even if those don't lead directly to a conversion for me, right, then a lot of the time, if it's somebody that I trust or it's somebody that I've seen around a lot of times I'll go back to that brand. Or if I see a different advertisement from that brand, sometimes I'll still just remember that that influencer called it out.
For those of our listeners that might not actually know what influencer marketing is, could you give like a brief rundown on just the topic as a whole?
Yeah, so influencer marketing is the use of people with bigger social media followings. Some of them are more specific, some of them are a little more broad and partner with different kinds of companies. They market on their social medias to their fans and kind of just promote products and open up the awareness of different brands that they're interested in. And they work pretty closely with a lot of those brands.
Tailwind is actually a company under the bigger Audacious umbrella. And under that umbrella, we have a sister agency known as August United that is one of the fastest growing marketing agencies in the entire world and is a proud influencer devoted marketing space that can build entire campaigns that center around the audience and the person that they're relating to. So on to our second story, we wanted to take a look at the way the SEO game is changing. And for those who might not be aware of it, SEO is search engine optimization, which is a style of marketing and a style of web development that brands and companies can use to essentially optimize their entire website and the different landing pages that people get to go to better rank within Google's crawlers and Google's algorithm so that they're seen more often. So back in April, a marketing tabloid by the name Search Engine Land carried out a study that was conducted within a wide range of industries to understand how they thought the pandemic was going to influence marketing budgets. And what they found from that was that 45% of companies were anticipating to slightly decrease and actually remove part of their marketing budget. When asked about it, 63% thought that SEO would gain importance either slightly or steeply. But what they really didn't notice was exactly how much that was going to happen. So as a company that does a lot of SEO work, we've seen in our own clients almost double the search volume that they normally see. So we're seeing what would normally be on average 4,000 searches a month for a term can get up to 8,000 depending on the concept and the topic. Organic search overall has been seen by 66% of these marketers to be a top performing channel. And when you see that those numbers are coming, you got to understand that the way that that's going to impact the paid scale as well.
So now that you're seeing these trends in SEO, do you feel comfortable saying that that study was right and that SEO has become greatly more important since the pandemic?
I think so, but not for the reasons they were saying. I don't think it's taking away from paid campaigns. I think we're finding a better opportunity to supplement the things that are happening. So you still have your paid campaign where you're getting those people that are already reaching out. But now when it comes down to it, you can reduce your budget a little bit because you're taking a more organic approach to the keywords that are a little bit harder to get.
And do you see this change in organic continuing once this virus begins to pass?
It's a little bit of a tricky question because we know that the search volume is definitely going to die down. For the example of gardening topics obviously aren't going to be as large once people can return back to whatever was normal before. However, we do know that people are looking now more for organic resources and that you're supplementing your ads really well and coming up with strategies on that. So while I think the volume will return back to what was once normal, I don't think that we're going to go back to the emphasis on paid just as much. I think there's going to be more of a balance now that we were able to identify here.
And what benefits does organic search have that paid search doesn't necessarily cover?
I think the best way to describe that would be to look at it from an example of, let's say you're targeting 100 different keywords with a paid strategy. And when you go through, you see that 75% of them are performing really well, but 25% of them, you're kind of just spending too much money on keywords you're not getting. That would be the place where you'd want to go back to your website and go back to an organic strategy to kind of build up there, so you can move that part of the budget that you're essentially just throwing and not getting anything with back to what you know is working. So I don't think that one is necessarily better than the other, but I think that they can supplement each other by taking both of those fields and just kind of mixing them together.
So, a little more than 2 months of working from home now, we've started to see the different ways that different companies are reacting to working from home. And we've actually seen a lot of companies, specifically agencies, putting a lot of their focus into mental health of their employees and making sure that their employees are still maintaining that work-life balance, even though the work is being done from home. One agency, Madwell, has chosen to offer 2 additional days per month while they're working from home of time off. I think that a common theme that we've seen is a lot of employees are a little bit hesitant to even take that time off since we are from home.
We can see that a lot in the leadership team that we have at Tailwind as well, where a lot of us haven't taken time off since this has started because we just feel like it's a little bit wrong or inappropriate since we're working from home. But the leadership team knows that we're being drained, and they know that while we're working hard, we need to take time to relax too. So they're kind of enforcing and committing us to giving ourselves those mental health breaks and taking care of ourselves. In your experience, how has this remote work time been for you? How has it affected your mental health? Are you working more?
Yeah, there's definitely days that I'm working more. I think the biggest thing is kind of the connectivity to the work. Since we are from home, especially being a part-time employee when I wasn't in every day, I've been able to stay connected a little more on the days that I'm off. I've definitely had to try to remind myself at times to disconnect on my days off, but I've definitely seen myself actively engaging a little bit more on my days off. But with that, I have been able to take smaller breaks a little more throughout the day.
I think I've been doing a lot of the same things, and I think it's really helped that Tailwind and Audacious as an organization has just been implementing their own ways to kind of push people to take those breaks. We've implemented meditation groups throughout our entire organization that I know were mentioned last flash briefing, that essentially are just helping all of us just alleviate some of the stress and the daily taxing that we go through. And then we've mentioned before, but they're trying to push us and let us know that it's okay to take time off. It's not all about the work, but we need to take care of ourselves, which I think when you're looking for an agency or you're looking for an organization that you want to be a part of, nothing matters more than how they treat and how they care for their employees.
And I think that it's huge when, we have leadership teams that are looking out so much for our best interest, even though we have that ability to be working nonstop every day. I completely agree with that point, that that's a main thing to look at when you're looking for an agency.
All right, well, I think that sums up all the topics that we really had to talk about today. So until next week, I'm Dave.
And I'm Zach.
And thanks for watching.